Well, I'm sure you feel it. Grocery prices are climbing higher. Producers across the U.S. are bracing for the impact of the president's tariffs.
Wholesale vegetable prices in the United States are rising faster than most people realize.
If your children are looking for another excuse not to eat their veggies, they may have one. Wholesale prices for domestic fresh and dry vegetables skyrocketed nearly 40% in July.
Attention shoppers, be on the lookout for veggieflation. New figures show the wholesale price of vegetables, the price supermarkets pay before the veggies make it to the produce aisle, skyrocketed in recent weeks, rising by nearly 39% between June and July.
In July alone, wholesale prices for fresh and dry vegetables jumped nearly 40% compared to the same time last year. That is the price grocery stores pay before a single tomato, head of lettuce, or bag of potatoes even reaches the shelves. And here is the question that matters most. Will the chains absorb those costs, or will every penny land directly on you, the customer, at checkout? YouTube is not the biggest fan of content like this, but we believe people deserve to hear the truth. If you agree, hit that like button and subscribe. It helps us beat the algorithm and keep going. We really appreciate the support. The climb in prices has been relentless, sudden, and largely unnoticed until it hits wallets. That bag of greens at Walmart that was once under $3 is now pushing past $5. Even Costco, which many thought was the safe zone for bulk produce, has seen quiet increases across the board in just the past few weeks. And it is not just one vegetable. At least 7 of the most common staples in American households have now hit their highest prices of the year, some nearly doubling in just 30 days. Behind it all is a toxic mix of retaliatory tariffs, collapsing supply chains, and fuel costs that keep climbing with no end in sight. Let us break down exactly which vegetables are quietly draining wallets at the biggest grocery chains in the country right now. Tomatoes. For decades, tomatoes have been the automatic purchase in every grocery cart. No thought, no hesitation, just pick them up and move on. That habit is being broken. In states like Ohio, Florida, and Pennsylvania, shoppers are finding boxes of Roma tomatoes that were under $2 now pushing close to $4. And this happened in a matter of weeks, not years. No warning, no explanation, just higher prices. The effect goes beyond the extra dollars. Tomatoes are the foundation for meals. They are the base of pasta sauce, the heart of chili, the simple ingredient that makes a salad work. For many older Americans, they are part of a routine that never needed reconsideration. Now, that routine is being disrupted. Shoppers are forced to switch to canned tomatoes, only to discover that canned prices have jumped as well. Others settle for pre-made sauces and realize the taste is not the same. The familiar comfort of a kitchen staple has become another point of stress. Lettuce. USDA data shows lettuce prices have surged more than 30% in just 6 weeks. A vegetable that was once cheap and reliable is now breaking the $5 mark per head in some parts of the Midwest and Northeast. California and Arizona, which provide over 90% of America's lettuce, have been hit with droughts, water shortages, and soaring irrigation costs. At the same time, new tariffs on Mexican imports have cut off the safety net that usually helps fill the gap. Retailers have responded with hidden shrinkflation, bags of prepackaged lettuce that contain fewer leaves, forcing shoppers to buy more often. The result? Diabetics, retirees, and health-conscious families who rely on lettuce as a daily staple are suddenly faced with the choice of cutting back or paying prices they never imagined. Potatoes. Quietly, potatoes have climbed nearly 30% in price. The change has been hidden in smaller bag sizes and lower quality. Shelves that used to carry discount bags now sit half empty. Even instant mashed potatoes, a fallback for middle-class families, cost 50 to 70 cents more per packet, depending on the region. For seniors and working-class households, dishes like baked potatoes, homemade fries, or potato soup are turning from staples into luxuries. and the nutritional gap that opens when families stop buying potatoes is not easily filled. Broccoli. Once ignored, now valued for its health benefits, broccoli is becoming harder to afford. Prices have crossed $3 per pound in many stores, and whole heads are being replaced with smaller pre-cut bags that cost even more per pound. Some shoppers have reported shortages, with fresh broccoli disappearing for days at a time. The volatility makes meal planning harder, and substitutions like kale or green beans do not always work. For many households, broccoli was the cornerstone of healthy eating. Now it has become another calculation. Carrots. For years, carrots were the reliable fallback. Cheap, stable, always available. That stability is breaking. Prices for 1 pound bags have crossed $1.39 at Walmart and Target, while larger bags are disappearing or being sold at the same price, but with less inside. Families that relied on carrots as the budget-friendly option now hesitate at the shelf. Smaller stores and family restaurants are scaling back salads and juices, cutting portions or raising menu prices. The ripple effects are spreading beyond grocery carts into restaurants and cafeterias. Onions, perhaps the most deceptive of the price hikes. Onions are not flashy. They are a base ingredient in nearly every American kitchen, but white onions are up nearly 40% compared to last year. That means households buying 3 or 4 pounds a week are suddenly paying enough extra each month to cover another full meal. The impact is quiet, but dangerous. Fewer onions in soups, sauces, and roasts may not sound critical, but when the base ingredient becomes unstable, every recipe built on it suffers. Restaurants are thinning onion rings, sandwiches lose their sautéed toppings, and shoppers find themselves counting onions like luxury items. Bell peppers. The price jump here is impossible to miss. In less than 2 months, a single red bell pepper has gone from $1.19 to over $1.89 in many stores, topping $2 in some states. The bright colors that once decorated stir-fries and salads now come with a serious cost. Green peppers, the cheaper alternative, are also rising, wiping out the usual fallback. Families that once bought peppers in bulk for variety now pick them one at a time or skip them altogether. Restaurants cut them from breakfast plates, pizzas, and salads. What was once decorative has become a financial decision. The pattern is clear. Prices are not creeping up slowly. They are surging in sudden leaps that break household habits and leave shoppers scrambling. And the worst part is that most of these increases are not tied to shortages or natural disasters. They are tied to tariffs, retaliatory policies, and economic decisions made far above the heads of ordinary families. Every tariff meant to punish a foreign competitor is landing as a hidden tax on American dinner tables. For many, this is the first time groceries have felt like a gamble. You walk into the store not knowing what will be affordable this week and what will be out of reach. Planning meals becomes a stressful calculation. What can you cook that stretches across days without breaking the budget? What ingredients are safe to buy in bulk? And which ones will spoil before you can afford to replace them? Consumer experts warn that this is just the beginning. If fuel costs rise further and retaliatory tariffs deepen, vegetable prices could keep climbing into the winter. For families on fixed incomes, that means cutting back not just on vegetables, but on other essentials to cover the gap. So what should shoppers do right now? First, stop buying on autopilot. Check the per pound price carefully. Shrinkflation is everywhere. Bags are smaller, weights are lower, but the prices are higher. Second, adapt quickly. If your go-to vegetable is suddenly double the price, adjust the meal plan. Substitutions are not perfect, but they are better than letting inflation bleed the budget dry. Third, consider local farmers markets or cooperative buying groups. In some communities, neighbors are banding together to split bulk purchases directly from farms. It is not a perfect solution, but in a time when national supply chains are unstable, local networks can offer some protection. And finally, the most important point, watch your receipts. These increases are not happening all at once. They are creeping in week after week in small, almost invisible jumps. If you do not track them, you will only feel the shock at the end of the month when the budget is already gone. The bigger picture here is not just about vegetables, it is about trust. Prices do not only reflect supply and demand, they reflect confidence that the basics will remain stable. When shoppers start doubting that, when tomatoes, lettuce, and potatoes become unpredictable, it signals a deeper turbulence in the system. This video does not promote division within the United States or encourage dissension. All content is presented for exploration, analysis, and discussion of current events and public trends. We fully respect the United States Constitution and all federal regulations. If today's breakdown made you think, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it so others can see what is happening behind the headlines. Because when even the most familiar groceries start slipping out of reach, the warning is clear. The turbulence has already begun.